Welcome to the news. The news headline. Nass'Ll will consider Buhari'S request to amend Section 84(12). Lawan says. The news headline. President of the Senate, Dr. Lawan, has given an assurance that the National Assembly will look into President Muhammadu Buhari's request for the amendment of Section 84(12) in the Electoral Act, which bars political appointees from participating in their party's primaries. This is as the Coalition of United Political Parties, CUPP, has commended President Buhari for assenting to the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, saying that it will guarantee victory to the opposition political parties. Speaking with the State House correspondents after signing of the amended Electoral Act by President Buhari at the Council Chambers, Presidential Villa, Abuja on Friday, the President of the Senate said the National Assembly will be willing to consider the President's request as soon as a bill to that effect is brought before them. He said, this is a legitimate request, and that is why we commend the President. I will commend him for so many things, but let me also qualify it that even though he had a disagreement with the section, especially clause 84(12), that talks about public political office holders, he still went ahead to sign the bill into law, and that is to show his commitment and desire to have an electoral law that will ensure that we have better outcomes when we do election. So, we will look at what he is asking for. I hope that they will send the request for the amendment in good time, because time is of essence. INEC is waiting. And because we don't want to spill over some of these dates unnecessarily, we will be expecting a communication from Mr. President with respect to this. And then the National Assembly in both chambers will look into the request for amendment. But on the whole, I think this is a wonderful development for this administration, for Nigeria, for the evolution and development and growth of democracy in Nigeria. Dr. Lawan said the Electoral Act in place, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, should hit the ground running and ensure that successful elections are conducted in Osun and Ekiti elections this year and the general elections nationwide in 2023. According to him, and for INEC, now you have what you need. INEC, you have to produce the best possible electoral exercise. Right from probably the Ekiti and Osun off-season elections, and of course in the 2023 general elections. Speaking in the same vein, Speaker of House of Representatives, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, stressed that if the provisions of the Act are properly managed by INEC, it will mark a watershed in the nation's election history. He said, I believe it's a landmark piece of legislation and has far-reaching implications of the provisions contained herein. I can count off-head at least 10 to 15 provisions in that electoral law that, if properly executed by INEC and the people who the laws are made for, It will be a turning point in electoral history of Nigeria, and we will witness not just by mouthing free, fair and credible elections, but we will actually witness free, fair and credible elections moving forward. Meanwhile, the Nigerian opposition family, the CUPP, has said that it received with extreme joy the news of the signing into law of the amended Electoral Act by President Buhari. A statement issued by Ikenga Imo Ugoshinyere, CUPP spokesperson and chieftain of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), said, though delayed and allowing for Nigerians to mount pressure calling for assent to the law, Nigeria Opposition Coalition is elated that finally Nigeria has a law that will revolutionize our electoral processes. We therefore commend President Muhammadu Buhari for assenting to the bill, thereby creating a new and advanced legal framework for our elections. We also commend the National Assembly for their commitment and effort and ensuring that the law is amended and that there is now legal backing for some of the innovations introduced by INEC. We further commend the civil society and indeed Nigerians for not letting go or reducing the pressure on both the National Assembly and the President to sign. They have done Nigeria proud. We also commend the opposition family for holding the government to account on the need to amend the electoral law early enough to allow INEC ample time to implement the law for a free, fair, and very credible 2023 general elections. We also commend INEC for its contributions and innovations, which led to this very robust amendment to the Electoral Acts. We also remind the Commission that with today's assent to the bill, the ball is now squarely in the court of the Commissioner to begin in earnest to plan for the elections, urging them to release the election timetable soonest to ensure stability and certainty in the process and in the polity. Finally, we call on all political parties to put their acts together and embrace internal party democracy, as this will enable only popular individuals to emerge as candidates of their parties, as doing otherwise will lead to their failure, as only candidates voted by Nigerians can now win elections in Nigeria, since the 2023 election is highly anticipated to be free, fair, and credible. Thank you for tuning in. Have a blessed week.